I have to be publicly spiritual or believe in someone or a foundation or a philosophy? Isn't spirituality something that doesn't need definition if privately I'm a good human being?
See, first of all, people's idea of spirituality comes from the common calendars that hang on their walls. They think, generally in this country, this image has spread. If you say, I'm spiritual, first question they ask is, what are the things you cannot do? So their idea of spirituality is, it's some sort of a disability. Spirituality is not a disability, it is a tremendous empowerment. You must be able to do more things than normal people do if you're spiritual. But generally, they think spiritual means you will not be able to do anything. I mean, something as simple as, because you mentioned the car, I'm saying, people will… initially they used to say, oh, he drives his own car, how is he a guru? I said, well, if I have a chauffeur, will I become a better guru? I drive my own car, I cook my own food, I do my own things. Is that a wrong thing to do? So, this idea of what is spiritual and not spiritual is something that I've been trying to bring proper perspective to. There is no human being on the planet who is not spiritual in some way. It is just that some people claim the mantle.
No, so let's stay with this. If you were to define spiritualism as we know it, and I'm not talking about the misconception which you've just touched upon, how would you define spirituality? Well, let me tell you what the flip side is. In India, we have more gurus than we have traffic lights.
Not true.
We do. Okay, not gurus.
There are more…
godmen, magicians. And there's almost a belief, and I really want your views on this because I've heard you espouse on this brilliantly earlier. There's almost a feeling that the man or woman must subjugate, bow down, and it's another kind of dependency that is created. So what in your mind is the essence of spiritualism?
I will leave the word spiritualism because I don't know what that is. Spirituality essentially means that you have strived to make your experience of life beyond the realm of the physical. For you, what is beyond the physical is a living experience, it's not a belief. When you're in pursuit of this, your condition is this, that you're a seeker, you're not a believer. Because belief essentially means you have concretized your assumptions about life and beyond. Seeking means you have realized that you do not know. I do not know is a tremendous possibility. Only when you see I do not know, the possibility of knowing becomes a living reality for you. Seeking, longing, wanting to know, this becomes a possibility. So spirituality essentially means either you have reached a place where your experience of life is beyond your physical nature, you're able to touch that which is beyond physical, or you're in a state where you're seeking. That means you have admitted your ignorance about the nature of this existence and your own existence. Anything that you do with your body is connected to time, it takes time. You want to run, you want to walk, you want to do this or that, everything takes time. What you do with your mind also takes time, but not to the same extent enslaved to time. I mean, our sense of time is only because of our body. You don't have to look at your watch to know what is the time. If you observe your bladder, you know how many hours you've been sitting here. I'm saying our sense of time is essentially because of body. We had sense of time even before the watch came, isn't it? Because physical is keeping time always. How long you can sit here, how long you can walk, how long you can do something, everything is decided by time. Time may be a relative experience at different times. You have seen at a certain time when you're very joyful one day, 24 hours, poof, went like a minute. Another day you're little depressed. I'm sorry, clinically depressed. Then that one day feels like a whole lifetime. So, when somebody is very miserable, you will see time just won't roll. So time is a very relative experience. but still it's very directly connected to our body. If we did not have a body, suppose you don't have a body, you sit here for 10,000 years, what's the problem? Isn't it? So when it comes to the mind, it is not as much enslaved to time as your physical body, but mind also has time. But there are dimensions within you which are not related to time. So, this thing about right path, wrong path, all these things largely relates itself to body because it takes time, it takes away life. If you just take a wrong turn, it'll take away life. Maybe you lost half an hour, but you lost not half an hour of time, you lost half an hour of life, isn't it? So when it comes to physical things, we must be little conscious of which turn to take because it takes away our time. Mentally, you can take any turn you want, whichever way you want, because it doesn't take much time. So when you talk about spiritual process, it doesn't take time at all, it's an inner dimension which doesn't relate to time. So your education, you may be studying, you may be running, you may be working, to be spiritual it doesn't take time. Only little initial guidance may take time, afterwards it doesn't consume time because it's not physical in nature.